few years ago, I made a video about how Bleach arcs could have been structured more like DBZ. I don't agree with everything I said, but I have found a story that does exactly that and more. That story is One Punch Man. Spoilers for the manga and webcomic ahead. There are two qualities that I want to analyze. The first is the arc structure. In Dragon Ball Z, once the action really starts, most of the arcs become back-to-back action, including all of the present characters. In my video on how Black Clover makes its fights, I bring up a strategy that allows battles to be extended. DBZ does that a lot too. In the Saiyan Saga, there are two major battles, Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz, and the Z Fighters versus the Saiyans. In the second fight, there are so many different combatants entering and exiting the fight. First the Cybermen are dealt with, then Nappa starts fighting and beats Chiaotzu and Tien. Then Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan team up against Nappa. When Goku appears, he beats Nappa, then fights Vegeta. During the second battle, Goku, Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe move in and out of the fight. The Frieza Saga is pretty similar. This time the heroes are Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo, and the villains are the henchmen, Dodoria, Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, and Frieza himself. Characters move in and out of the fights just like the Saiyan Saga. The Android Saga has the same structure to its battles and so on. This is a simple and pretty effective formula, and I talked about how powerful formulas can be in another video, but I think One Punch Man does this even better. First, I'll start with the arcs that use this formula. The Sea Monster, Alien Conquer, Monster Raid, Super Fight, Monster Association, and the Neo Heroes Uprising arc. Like DBZ, there are many heroes and villains fighting in one place. Combatants move in and out of fights, sometimes completing them, and sometimes having them interrupted. The first thing that OPM does better is the characters. The story often uses these battles to introduce and develop new and old characters. Many S-Class heroes first showed off their moves in the Alien Conquer arc, and the Monster Association arc, especially in the manga, has all these new heroes showing up and getting some spotlight. The Neo Heroes Uprising brings in new heroes from the main association and introduces important Neo heroes like Blue. During the Monster Raid arc, characters like Metal Bat and Garo are fleshed out. Super Fight fleshes out Suiryu, and the Monster Association does wonders for Garo's character. Tatsumaki and Fubuki get really good development during this arc as well. Darkshine and Garo are even given character arcs here, and what I've mentioned are only examples that stood out to me. The second thing that OPM does better with the arcs is that it often utilizes a large cast on both sides. Arcs like Alien Conquer and Monster Association include tons of characters. There's even a fight in the latter arc that contains 16 combatants at once. With such a vast amount of heroes and villains, OPM is able to create fodder to let target characters shine and create powerful characters that target characters will struggle against and potentially even lose. These longer arcs are exactly the super arcs that I've mentioned in previous videos. Several combatants on both sides with epic career-defining battles for individual characters. A common issue with DBZ is that only certain characters get to be cool. Personally, only Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and maybe Trunks have career-defining battles on the hero side. Krillin, Piccolo, and every other human or lesser character don't get these. Of course, you could argue that Dragon Ball had some for the characters, but that was before the fighting style changed to flight and ki blasts, so I personally don't count them, especially with all the good opportunities that DBZ offers them. Most of the Z Fighters fight in the Saiyan and Android Saga, yet none of them get epic battles. Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo fight in the Frieza Saga, but none of them get epic battles once again. The second quality that OPM does better than DBZ is the over-the-top aspect. In DBZ, the things that the characters can do gets increasingly impressive and broken. Broken is not a compliment when I use it. While the things that the characters do can be considered cool, it completely ruins the power system. See my video on escalation. The fights lose any tactical investment when all that matters is speed and power. Things like planet-destroying blasts and higher levels of Super Saiyan are some examples of these problems. OPM has this overpowered aspect even more so than DBZ, but there are two things it does to lessen the drawbacks. The first is the fact that this is a comedy and parody story. It consciously takes battle manga and superhero powers and turns them up to 11. This would be a problem if the story always took itself seriously. OPM thankfully knows exactly what it is and leans into it. Its fights are simply a fun display of broken characters fighting equally or even more broken characters. This is the parody part. The audience isn't expecting to care about the logic of the battle mechanics. They just sit back and enjoy the overpowered spectacle. I believe the author knows exactly what he's doing, and the reason for that is not only the fact that the story is a comedy half the time, but because the level of nonsense that goes on. Several characters are stated to be regular humans, but can pull off superhuman feats with very little explanation. Metal Bat is able to get stronger through fighting spirit. Garo is able to copy fighting styles after seeing them once. Bob has a martial arts style that cuts people with sharp winds. Characters receive damage that should kill a human but still come out fine. King exists. Genos pulls out a new piece of technology out of nowhere in nearly every fight. And most importantly, the heroes almost never die, and you should never expect them to die. They just get badly injured and sent to the hospital. The story clearly doesn't take itself too seriously when it comes to the plot, but that doesn't mean it won't nail the themes and characters. So by not taking itself seriously and leaning into the parody, I could be more lenient on it than if it took itself completely seriously and still got broken characters. The second thing that OPM does to lessen the drawbacks is creating unique fighting styles. In DBZ, nearly every character fights with hand-to-hand combat, flight, and ki blasts. So when broken characters fight, it essentially plays out the same way. This isn't the case in OPM. Nearly every important character is given their own fighting style or unique abilities, and this makes each fight engaging, even without the logical mechanics. Just seeing how characters with different styles deal with each other creates a fresh fight each time. On the hero side, you have telekinesis, cyborg enhancements, samurai, ninja, martial artists with unique styles, mechs, zombies, and superhumans. On the monster side, you have metamorphosis, telekinesis, replication, a water body, energy blasts, elasticity, and much more. In conclusion, One Punch Man pulls off DBZ's formula better by including more characters in each arc, giving characters career-defining battles, not taking itself too seriously, and having unique fighting styles for each character. It takes the good and bad traits of DBZ and makes them all better. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out my manga for free online. If you enjoy my content, please consider donating to my Patreon. All important links will be in the description.